Okay, so it is currently 9:50 p.m. I'm in Capetillo, Rio Piedra, and I wanted to talk about something as I walk to the store. The store closes at 11, but so I wanted to talk about language. What I've learned about language, one of the most important lessons that I have learned. So, it's not about the words. It's not about the words that you are using. It's about the state of being you are in and the state of being that individual is in. This is something I've learned about myself because it doesn't matter if two people are saying the same exact sentence and saying it at the same exact rhythm, have the same dialect, have the same accent, or none of that. None of that matters when it comes to me being able to communicate and connect with an individual, right? Because somebody could say something in English and I also might not understand it. But the point is, it's about the state of being that you're in, right? So when I say that, I mean, if two people are saying the same exact thing, like I said, the same exact sentence, using the same exact dialect, the same exact rhythm and speed, I might understand one person and I might not have any idea what the other person is saying, even if it's the same exact sentence, right? So when it comes to Spanish, right? When it comes with any language, because I know some American Sign Language as well, right? If I'm meant to understand an individual, if I'm meant to connect with them, I will, right? Even when I barely knew any Spanish at all, I was able to have certain conversations with people where I had never heard that word in my life, but I had to have known something about what they were saying because I was able to understand it. And it was because of that person. It was because of that individual. It was because of who that person is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that I know that you could study language and you can study everything about a culture, and you might go to a particular country and want to practice that out. And, you might think okay, I know all the words, I learned all the words, I identify as fluent, I've had this amount of practice, and now I'm actually, in this country. Let me slow down because it's raining, it's kind of slippery. But, you might feel like you know everything there is to know about a language, and you might be born speaking a language and you still might not understand something somebody is saying, but they supposedly speaking the same language as you. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it's about if you meant to even connect with that individual in the first place. And that's what I've learned, the people that I've been able to connect with and I've had conversations with them, like I said, I would not know not one word that they were saying, but I could understand exactly what they're saying, even if I don't understand the words. And that's because before it even gets to words, before it even gets to language, a person has to be in a certain vibration to communicate something anyway. Shout out to Doelow Da Pilotman, DOELOWDA PILOTMAN. Doelow Da Pilotman, Flight Boss, Archangel Uriel, Air. You feel me? Because it's not about the words that you're using, it's the vibration that you put in behind those words. And regardless of how you think you might be coming off, whatever you paying attention to in your mind, whatever you fixated on, whatever you thinking about, those things that you sitting in the house thinking about that you think that nobody else know, or that nobody else can't be able to pick up on because you behind closed doors, or whatever the case may be, it's felt from you. You have an aura that's around you. And it don't matter what language you're using. It don't matter what country you're in. It don't matter, because we are all in states of being. We are all in our own space anyway. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Do that real quick video, as I'm going to the store. because, you know, I appreciate everybody commenting. I really do appreciate it, you know, and it's cool to be able to connect with individuals and, you know, see kind of what they think about the videos I'm posting and stuff like that. And, you know, it sparks other ideas for me to continue to do more videos, you know, so I really, really do appreciate it. And this video was inspired by a comment, you know, and the person was just talking about like the history of Spanish and this and that. But like, I just wanted to talk about before we even created the words to put together to call them something, before a person in history or in memory that you was taught like, this is the tradition and this is where I learned from this history book, or before, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, before it's a history book, before it's words that's put together, before it's a sentence, before it's a book that's passed down, before it's something that you read and see in school, before it even gets there, there's something else going on before that even happens, you know. So I just want, you know, everybody to know that if you're watching this video and stuff like that, you might wonder, you might think like, where is she from? She's in Puerto Rico, and like, you know, where is she originally from, or where is this, you know, questions about me. I'm not from this planet. I'm not from this planet. I'm not from this planet. I do not resonate with human things. I'm just here experiencing. I'm utilizing this body while I can, you know, to have the best experiences of my life, where I'm able to learn what it is I need to learn, connect with who I need to connect with, be where I need to be, learn unfamiliar, familiar, you know what I'm saying, be on my spiritual path. And that's probably what I'm gonna talk about in my next video, just when it comes to like your spiritual path, especially your spiritual path in terms of your north node, right? So my north node, it conjuncts with a big old stellium in my chart, you know, and a stellium is a stellar event, which means that, you know, you have a bunch of the same energy in a certain planet or whatever. So for me, mine is Scorpio. Like my north node is in Scorpio, and then a whole bunch of other planets are conjuncting with that same north node in Scorpio. And your north node, like I said, is your spiritual path. So, you know, like one of them is like communication, Mercury, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the way I communicate, the way I receive communication. It can be in a deeply rooted way, you know, where before I even was learning Spanish, people was looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what's going on in your mind, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So that's why, you know, I just want to not keep so much things to myself, you know, because I can get really, really comfortable with just being in my own self, being in my own space, being content with that, and not being around humans or not talking and stuff. Like, I'm very content with that. But then at the same time, I know that I've experienced so much and been able to extract the wisdom and knowledge from those experiences to be able to help other people or give people another perspective, you know. So before you label an individual, whatever, you know, what you used to, like, you might label me American or some shit. You might label me word. She's word. Like, no, I'm not from this planet. I'm not from this planet. You know what I'm saying? If you did want to attach it to a word, you could say space. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. But even then, it's like there's certain rituals and spells and even the spelling of words. Like I said, that's why I said it's before you even get to the word. You know, it's a lot of energy. It's a lot going on, because even when the way this country was built, or any country was built, you know, it was signs. People had to agree on the shape of a stop sign, the color of a stop sign, the way a street would look, how the curve would be. Like, people had to agree to calling this street, you know what I'm saying, calle, or somebody had to agree to calling the paseo. Some people had to sit around and agree. Like, if you were part of a gang that's a part of a particular street, a bunch of people had to sit around and agree to that, and you didn't have anything to do with that. But you might label and identify as that shit, even though you didn't have anything to do with it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't identify with labels, you know what I'm saying? And not in the terms of how people might use it. Like, people might use I don't identify with labels or no labels and shit for like sexuality and stuff. I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about every single label and box you can check off, every single little piece of section that they got in the world for this is what you are. You black, you tall, you just, like, all of those words and all of that shit, I do not resonate with in no way, shape, form, or fashion. Like I said, I'm just here experiencing, and I'm having the time of my motherfucking life. And it don't matter if I was in Puerto Rico right now, Egypt, Spain, or fucking Chewbacca. It don't really matter, you know. You are who you are, you know, and you the one that's creating the vibe for your surroundings and your environment. You know, like you the one that, especially like, let's say you live in an environment where you start to see and notice certain changes. You might look around and see changes or whatever. It's a huge, like, what's that word for, like, probability? It's a huge, I can say probability. It's a huge probability that if you start to see changes in your environment, you have a lot to do with that change. Especially if you changing your state of being, you changing how you see the world, you changing how you see things, right? It's like you have something to do with that change. So make sure you're in the right state of being. Also, too, when it comes to communication, and I'm going to elaborate this more in another video, but when it comes to communication, like I said, it's not about the words. It's about the vibration that you